I'm Ryan. This is Melissa. And this is the Betrayal Body Podcast. Episode, what, 4 now?
4. Yeah, baby.
Big number
We're a month
4.
strong. We're
Man.
4 weeks into our relationship. No, almost. We've known each other for like, what, 2 months now?
2 months. Yeah.
We're going
And
strong, Ryan.
steady.
Yeah.
Keeping our dates and making it
Yep.
happen. And
No flaking. No
nope,
ghosting.
nope. Staying
That is something I
consistent.
pride myself on, is reliability. That's like something I'm very big on. We've been talking about awakening. And it's interesting because that's not actually what we were necessarily going to do for the podcast right off the bat. We were going to cover how these systems that we're in just fuck everyone over, and they're not designed for people to thrive in. And systems meaning like the government structure, like the school systems, the healthcare systems, the legal systems, like all these systems. But it drifted to the spiritual and the awakening side, which honestly everything goes hand in hand anyway. But we kind of are gonna wing it this episode and see where it goes. We're good on the fly, I would say.
Try to be. Adaptability, you know?
True that.
We are working on what we just talked about, explaining how these systems go in and basically hijack our nervous systems, our mindsets, our psyches, and not just individually, but collectively. But, you know, we kind of feel, and everything happens for a reason. So it helps to understand that there is a place where you can be grounded in. The word enlightened is so overused, but it doesn't make it any less true. It just makes it seem further outside of you than it really is.
Yeah. It almost feels like you're like reaching outside of yourself, or like for something other than you. Yeah. I get what
Which
you
is
mean.
part of it, but there's
Yeah.
also it also needs to be very accessible to everybody. And
Yeah.
it's much easier to understand how much these systems have just destroyed things once you know that you can be okay, and it's okay to be okay. And sometimes that means broken, sometimes that means healing, sometimes that means totally embodied into who you are.
Yeah. And the systems we're talking about, they can go on like the biggest scale of the system all the way to down to like the cell,
Yeah.
like or particle kind of thing. So everything is connected and interplays off of each other. We're all connected in so many different ways that we can't even fathom. And um, we're going to kind of lean towards, I imagine in this episode, kind of veteran systems, just because we're both veterans. We've been in that system. And we're honestly trying to, and we're hopeful to attract more veterans to this place, because we kind of help each other out. We're from similar culture, and we feel more comfortable naturally amongst our own, quote unquote. So this place, we welcome veterans. We want more veterans to come and like let us know that you're here. And we've gotten a lot of new subscribers and followers on all our channels, and I'm like, yeah, it's working. We knew it would take off. It's only a matter of time,
Bingo.
because the information that we're sharing is it needs to be heard in the way that it's being said, grounded and real, authentic, and like we're not wearing any masks, at least as much as we can help. You only know what you know. And yeah, I think we can kind of start there with the veteran systems. And at some point in this episode, I'll cover, by the request of one of the people in our comments, was asking how you heal from trauma. And Ryan and I can talk about that from many different angles. So we'll kind of give you some tips to do that yourself. Because honestly, you don't have to have anyone else help you heal trauma, but it is nice to have a roadmap. So you don't have to
Absolutely.
freaking learn the hard way. So what you got for where you want to start, Ryan?
So, I mean, with veterans, uh, start at the biggest system there is for us, the Veterans Administration. Um,
Yeah, the VA. Yeah. Well,
and
honestly, we gotta kinda start before the VA because
okay,
we're conditioned prior to the VA.
this is true. Like I
Yeah.
took a very literal, okay, where does the veteran yeah, once the label is set.
Oh, yeah, you're right, you're right. You're right.
But no, 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 and you're
I use
absolutely right.
veteran and, like, military member interchangeably, which technically it's not the same because a veteran's, like, post-service. Uh, yeah. But, yeah, it kinda starts with honestly, you can start all the way back in freaking childhood if you really wanted to get
Oh,
into it
for sure.
deep enough
That's up to
into the
you.
programming and the
You
systems. Oh, where to begin? Okay. Well, the clickbait shit is talking about the VA because everyone wants to trash the VA. It's just it's an easy target. So let's start there.
okay. So the
What's your
VA,
experience with the VA, by the way?
man,
Like, have you
it's
been in
hit.
that system?
I have. I have for a while, and we kind of covered it in the first episode where um my point of entry for the VA was court mandated,
Yeah, yeah,
basically,
okay.
and that happened in 2015. I had gotten out of the army in 2013, so I was taking the stance of I don't need this. Like I'm not wounded, I'm not broke, there's nothing wrong with me. I can handle everything myself.
Mhm.
Stronger, I'm lying to myself in a lot of ways. And, you know, my point of entry wasn't ideal, and there have been things that have helped me, and there have been things that have made my situation worse. And, you know, part of it being made worse is putting uh un unfair expectation on the system. Like they're no, if I just give myself fully into what this is supposed to be, it's going to heal me.
Yeah.
And but that's giving the system power, you know.
Mhm.
So gradually as I went on, and okay, said it was supposed to help me. Time goes on, I'm not getting better, I'm actually getting worse. And why is this happening? Having to drive an hour just to get to my appointment, being told, hey, we had to move your appointment. And okay,
What
that's
was
a
making it worse? Do you remember, like, one of the things?
just the wait. And well, one being told it's just anxiety. And
What was your
over
understanding of anxiety? Like, did you know what anxiety was?
not really, just
Yeah.
kind of at the time that it was from what I was told back then, it was from trauma. It was, you know, treatable with what do they prescribe everybody and their mother? Um Not bupropion.
Meds?
Yeah.
Oh. Mhm.
Um but there's one main pharmaceutical that they prescribe heavily, and I was prescribed that. It made me feel weird and not be able to sleep right. And then, oh,
Yeah.
here's medicine to sleep. Here's medicine for this. Here's medicine for that. And I felt like a robot. Just,
Yeah, because people aren't really educated on what medications do, what they're for, like how they work. Because psychiatrists, they don't give a shit about explaining all that. And maybe in the beginning they do, but eventually, because it's the same shit over and over and over, they get tired, man. And and you forget how much people don't know. Like even me, I've been, a therapist for a few years, and I forget what it was like to not know anything about any mental health, anything. And it's hard to get on that level, but yeah, so they're slapping or throwing pills at you. You're feeling like a robot and you're getting worse.
Yeah, so, um, I remember one time in 2016, like, right after my DUI, and I got into the VA system, and I told them I probably had, going through the, what's it called? The rating process.
Hmm.
So, one of my issues was a potential traumatic brain injury. They asked me if I wanted to be a part of a Baylor College of Medicine brain study down at the Houston VA, and I agreed to that. And um, I set up, or I was set an appointment to go down there, which from where I was living at the time was an hour long drive without traffic. And Houston traffic is next level stuff. Like, it's
I've
brutal.
never been.
Oh, 1 out of 10 would not recommend. Um, but yeah, anyway, so I went to sleep that night and I started, and you've seen it, but my stress and anxiety comes out on my face and through my skin. And I woke up, I had hives. I don't get hives. Like,
Wow.
when I went to sleep, it was kind of under my armpits and but the cracks of my legs. And when I woke up, my face was swollen.
Oh
Like,
shit.
have the movie Hitch with Will Smith after he eats the
Oh.
shellfish?
Oh
That's what I
shit.
looked like.
Oh
And,
wow.
you know, I'm drive my happy ass down to, Houston. I could barely see out of one eye and it was making it worse. And I took some Benadryl and it calmed it down a little bit. And then I had to get in the MRI machine. Like, they said, "Oh, it's an hour and 15 minutes and you can't move anything. We're scanning your brain. If you move, we have to reset the station." And it itched so bad.
Oh
Like,
my god.
and, "Oh, can you do this, sir?" My stubborn ass. "Yeah, I got this. I
Yeah.
got it."
That's some shit
Like,
I would do too. Uh-huh.
just laying there, like, trying to itch and want to itch my face and, you know, but and that's not but it's like that created its own stress, and that would happen anywhere, and that's not VA specific, obviously, but, I had to do all of these things because of, I had an issue. My drinking issue came from where, if we're being honest, childhood. But,
True.
you
Yeah, that's
know,
where everything's gonna trace back. Even if you say you had a fucking good childhood, still links back there, guys.
yeah, and
That's where you get programmed.
the military perpetuated it because it's part
Yeah.
of the culture and, I was about that life. Um,
Mhm. There's a
and
reason why people get attracted to the military.
yeah,
It's a subconscious, like, romance in a
yeah,
way.
for
Like, let me
sure.
give all my power to someone else to tell me
Yeah,
what to do, and I don't have any sovereignty whatsoever.
it works for a
Think
little
about that.
while. Like,
Yeah.
then you start, "Oh, no." When you
Yeah.
want it back a little bit, like, "Oh, it's gone." Like,
Yep. Well,
you
you kinda
reaching out for it,
override it.
like,
Yeah. You end up overriding that reality that you are literally signing your life away, and, like, people override it with, like, valor, like, "I'm doing something for the greater good," or whatever. So they, like, don't even spend a lot of time on the fact that you're people focus so much on, like, signing your life on the dotted line kinda thing, signing your life away in a sense of, like, you could die, but they're not considering the fact that you're literally giving away all of your power to be used by whoever the fuck decides to use you that day.
mm,
And it's really interesting if you zoom out and just look at it from, like, kind of a quote unquote awake perspective or something. It's just like the more you become aware and awake to this what this reality actually is, which it's gonna come off in layers because you gotta do it. You gotta pace it, man, or else you're gonna freak the fuck out, which some people do. They go way too fast. And, yeah, they don't come out of it, and you'll see them in the psych wards. They don't know how to ground what they're experiencing, and it hasn't been framed properly. As you become more aware and awake, you'll start seeing how these systems were so obviously fucked from the beginning, but we literally couldn't see it. It's no different than like how the celebrities play in our faces and like the commercials are like the news. You'll start seeing it much more clearly, and this happens on an individual level too, where I literally just had someone today talk about how they're like, I can't believe I couldn't see how dumb I was being or like what I was saying and how it hurt people and all this stuff. So it's like you can only see what you can see. You're literally asleep. Your consciousness is in reaction mode, and 95% of your like experience is going to be just coming from your programming. So you're literally kind of like a robot in a way, like an organic robot. That's kind of
Yeah.
how I view it, like what we were describing as the NPCs. But yeah, so you're in this fucked up system. What ended up happening? How did it de-swell?
So they sent me home, and
Of
because I
course.
had to repeat like 3 or 4 stations, and they're like, "Just get the fuck out of here. Like, you're moving too much." Like,
Yeah. Oh
and I
shit.
came back and I went and I got my little brain scan, and, you know, all of that effort, and, they're like, "Yeah, there's a traumatic brain injury there, but we can't do anything with it because we can't isolate it to something you happened," because I said, "Yeah, I've gotten concussions before. Like, I played
Mhm.
football, I did all these things." And, which I understand to a point, but I had to go through all like that was bullshit. Like, I also got blown up twice, like,
Yeah. So it's like, how can you actually trace it back?
yeah, did you do a
Yeah.
brain scan on me before I came into the military? No.
I know,
Like,
and that's where so many people struggle because it's also so normalized not to report anything. And then we kind of like police our own by saying like, um, when people do go to sit call or when they do report anything, you get like looked at, you know? Especially in
for
my
sure.
career field where we're like cops, we arm up every day. And when you have any profile or certain profiles, you can't arm up. And then everyone's just like, fucking scammer, you know? So,
Mhm.
and then you're like ostracized and looked at weird. And just add being a girl on top of that, and then a pregnant girl on top of that.
God.
And
Like,
then working back office on top of that, like, bro, there's, like, no respect whatsoever.
no, and that's brutal, and that's the
Yeah.
other part of it. Like, I came from a totally different, I'm a man, I couldn't even imagine. It's hard to put myself in your shoes. In infantry, we didn't have, at the time, like, I guess there is now, but we didn't have women. So my experience with women in the military was like, I'm
You didn't
coming
have
from,
infantry or you didn't have women in infantry in 2013?
nah.
Seriously? Oh, shit. I didn't know
Huh?
that. 'Cause my field's basically was infantry of the Air Force is what we could call it. We're the closest thing you're gonna get to, like, the Army,
Mhm.
w besides, like, special ops dudes, but I say dudes, most of them are.
PJs.
So, like, yeah, that's interesting, but I joined in 2007, and there's women in her the weirdest thing is of pregnant women arming up. Like, dude,
And,
we fucking had it bad, bro,
like, there's
and I
something
think
inherently wrong with that. Like,
I know!
I
How
love
fucked up is that, dude? Like, pregnant women with a pregnant belly, and, like, they had you arm up until, like, a certain amount of weeks, but pregnant women were showing, and we would have, like I've never wore one, but, like, you just had, like, the shoulder harness or whatever for your
mhm.
weapon.
Oh, yeah.
So, uh, that I actually got exposed to how fucked up the military is. Like, there's one level of fucked up where you're like you go in expecting to get, you know, shit talked and all this stuff, but there was another level of just, like, disgusting behavior towards like evil behavior.
Mm.
That when I was in basic training, this girl, she had a baby, like, I forgot, like, maybe 2 months prior to basic training, and so she's in my basic training with me, and she couldn't do sit-ups. She was struggling so hard to do sit-ups because she just had a fucking baby. I don't know how she got in. I don't know what the fuck kind of recruiter said it was cool to join, like, 2 months after you have a fucking baby, but everyone's story, like, is different, so I'm sure she had good reasons. But the freaking TI was, like, berating her, and it was like, you fucking da da da, you left your baby and you can't even freaking do sit-ups," and just, like, throwing that shit in her face, and I was like, "Yo, that's really crossing the line there," like, there's some shit that, like, is just inhumane, you know, to go there. Like, and I don't know, maybe it's just Air Force thing, Marines, I know they fucking have it bad, like, in their basic, but, like, there's some lines you just don't cross, I feel like. But that was my first exposure to, like, what the fuck is what is this place?
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So, your moving back to your experience with the VA, like, when did you start recognizing that the system was really fucked up and broken?
Um, Honestly, when I saw the guys with their, Vietnam War hats, World War II hats, and the shape they were in, and they had been, they've been in the system a lot longer than I have. And okay, looking at these guys and saying, is this going to be me? Like, they've been in the system for presumably decades and are still reliant on this system. And that's totally counterintuitive to what something like that is supposed to be. We're supposed to be healing people, not
Mhm.
creating repeat, customers, clients, patients.
Yeah.
Am I going to be somebody in which I admire and respect these guys for those were totally different ball games back then, you know, like, and it, my whole perspective on it was there's got to be a better way. And I don't want to be another number in the VA deli market, or deli line. Like,
Mhm. Mhm.
um so I started going more to my civilian care, and in a lot of ways it was the same. I just had to pay for it. And I don't know, it's hard to explain, and it's almost like you have to see, you just know, in so many
Yep.
ways.
Yeah.
Then I started doing the research and, like, oh, okay. And you hear about 22 a day, which is honestly lowballing a statistic. It's the lowest they felt comfortable with presenting, or, we can
Mhm.
get it down to this and people won't call our bullshit. I don't know. And
Yeah, and a lot of veterans aren't even in the VA system. Like, I honestly would have never been in the VA system if I never was, um, pursuing being a therapist. No, I think I was in it, but I was never planning to use it.
yeah.
Like, I from the get-go, well, I never really went to medical anyway. I've always been, like, pretty healthy, I'd say, which is interesting because I learned that in my astrological chart. Everything's in there, man. That I based on my shit, my chart, it shows I'm healthy, like, I'm not gonna have, like, health issues in this lifetime. And I'm like, "Mm, that's pretty cool," like, as long as
I'll
I
take that.
just do the basics.
Yeah, like,
I'm like,
all
"Okay,
right.
that gives me warm fuzzy." Yeah, I like that's probably the best thing you can hear. So it's like you're not that's not something you came to this life for to like deal with that. You're here for other things kind of thing. And I was like, nice. And so there's another plugin for like if you even if you just do it for fun, just get your chart read by like someone who knows what they're doing. can be very validating and give you a lot of good information. Yeah, when I first went to the VA, I actually had great experience. Like, it's because I always see stuff for what they are, what it is from the beginning. I never put all my stock in one thing anyway, and I think that's just because I had been blindsided and hurt so much in my childhood by my siblings and stuff. I don't trust anything, man. And it's not because uh it's not like this blind not trusting. It's a very intuitive,
Yeah.
"Meh,
It's
am I really
discernment,
gonna?"
you
Yeah,
know?
for sure. Definitely discernment. And so from the get-go, I also and I did this in the military too, where I had my eyes set on something. I'm like, "All right, what is it gonna take for me to get my needs met, to get what I want?" And then I did the exact same thing in the VA too. I was like, "All right, how do I get from point A to point B?" Well, I gotta do research, and I gotta read regs because everything's in a regulation. Everything. Like, everyone goes off policies, and it's
Yeah.
public, so they're not hiding shit, you just do your research and you can figure out exactly what you need to say, exactly what you need to report. I'm not saying I did anything like false shit, but I definitely covered all my bases to make sure that I got my needs met. But I really didn't have a lot of needs because I'm generally pretty healthy. But I did go to the VA for mental health because I wanted to experience what that was like. And I was very disappointed.
It's it's not great. Like,
Yeah,
it
and it's not because the people don't care, or at least that wasn't my
no,
experience. It was like, it's just what they're given to work with, and then there's so much red tape, and it's
it's
like,
so bloated. Like,
yeah,
and that's the biggest issue. Like, my most recent stop at the VA was partly for mental health, and I shit you not, there was a 72 question, you know, thing the, that the nurse had to go through with me before I even saw my provider. Like,
yeah, I know a questionnaire or, those long ass questionnaires that they go through.
it took
Like,
an
"Do you think
hour,
about are you thinking about harming yourself?" Okay. You're
and
like,
y
"What?"
y yeah, you just go from that to, okay, I was in there for an hour, the waiting room is just jam-packed like freaking a
Yeah,
can of sardines, and
damn.
they have all these problems with scheduling, like, you can't get an appointment at a reasonable time, and this is exactly why. Like, the doctor, at the place, the functional or the integrated health clinic that I work at
Mhm.
now, he was prior special forces, and I was talking to him about the VA, and he was telling me that the VA providers see, um, 6 to 8 patients in a day. He was like, "If"
That's it?
yeah, and he said, "If I did
Wow.
that in my practice,
Yeah,
I'd be out of fucking business." Like,
yeah. I
and
thought they were overworked.
well,
Um
they are because they have to go through
Oh,
it
you're talking about
takes
mental health?
no, I'm talking about just the provider, your primary
Gotcha.
provider,
Oh, yeah.
which
My
is part
primary
of
does take her time. Yeah.
yeah, and, you know, it's not it's so bloated in the mental health, like, just to get a mental health appointment, you have to go through your primary provider. You have to,
Yeah.
then branch off and keep, attach like, get the can gets kicked, but that's what
Yeah,
bureaucracy
you go into
does.
another queue.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like,
and
I like, they add so many layers, and this is kinda what they've done with, like, the legal system as well, and, like, laws and
yeah,
policies. Like, think about, like, HIPAA,
mhm.
and OSHA, and all the "shas," whatever
Yeah,
the
it
"uhs."
so
Yeah,
bureaucracy is the evil that we live in. It's what has
yeah.
created all this
It's like, "Mm,
entropy
can't go
and
here, can't go here, can't go here.
distortion.
Oh, I have no freedom."
exactly. And it creates nobody to blame. Nobody,
Mhm.
you can pass the buck internally without
Yeah.
holding anybody
Yeah.
accountable. They
If
just
you've
say,
ever been on fucking hold on a phone call,
uh,
if at any of those places, and then it just hangs up at the end.
so,
I feel like it's in every system.
the algorithm that I showed you the other day, like I sent you
Yeah.
the, about
Yeah, I
all of
read
these
through that.
systems. So the
Yeah.
biggest thing, it always came back to, okay, bureaucracies by design. And
Yeah, dude.
just
Well,
to,
explain to them what you mean by algorithm and shit, because, like, you say a lot of things, and I'm like, you say it so, like, casually and quickly that I'm like, "Whoa, hold on, hold on, hold on,
yeah,
hold on." That
sorry.
was, like, a big ass thing you just said. Um, just tell them what you mean by algorithm.
So, okay, we linked up on TikTok. So TikTok, it's proprietary algorithm. It's what it's all about interaction. Like if this content that has these tags and you're watching it, you interact with it, it logs it. You have your own little personal database that it logs this information. And the more you do it, the more information it has, the more refined it gets.
Yeah,
And
it's kinda like how I actually frame the human psyche in a way of, like, what
yeah,
you focus on is what you're gonna see more of,
yeah.
and then, like, how you're coding your reality with
And
your
the
belief
more
systems and
data
shit.
have you have, the
Yeah.
more accurately you can start predicting things. So
Yeah. Okay.
you and we have access to, geez, all the data in the world if we just know where to look. And you refine it and you pull it out. So then you take key key metrics like, okay, and what I did for a lot of the stuff I've built was take narcissistic personality disorder, DSM-5 traits, and start applying it. Okay, where where do these present themselves in other aspects of life? Because it feels, having to be
Yeah.
in a relationship with a narcissist and growing up with those behaviors. And again, we don't like the word narcissist. It's a label. It's
Yeah.
but
Doesn't give the whole picture.
no, and
Yeah.
it's what we have to work with, unfortunately. I'm sure Melissa and I can come up with, a better word. And
Yeah, but we just need something to anchor to so we're all talking about the same thing is all it
yeah,
is.
it's
So we
patterns
can
of
yeah.
behaviors.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you take those patterns and those behaviors and you apply them to systems and structures and the way it affects people on a so from a macro to a micro scale. And you just start plugging it in, like, okay, then you build your database and you put those key points in. And then that's people are scared of AI, and I was scared of AI too. I
Yeah, you're
was.
gonna have to talk about how you came to terms with that. Because even for me, when I was like, this shit came from AI, bro. Like, I don't trust that bitch. But like the way you framed it, I'm like, oh,
So
okay.
everything that is created, like the way I started to view it, and I'm gonna get a little, I don't know what it's not mystical, it's not woo woo, but
Just go, Ryan. It's fine. We're all here
so
for it.
creation itself is good. Like it takes good to create. So everything's going to start from a basis of, good because creation is good. Um
Like love.
love and yeah, creation is supposed to come from love. That's, two people finding each other and, obviously like there are extenuating circumstances like
Yeah.
drunken nights at PJ Mahoney's. Um but I
Hey,
forget.
it's love in the moment.
Yeah,
Who are we to judge? We don't know what's going on in their head.
yeah, and hey, like, rings on the wrong
Yeah.
finger over here. Um, so, um, but creation comes from good, generally. Something evil or something created with bad intent from the jump isn't going to survive very long. Like
Yeah. Yep.
something that is
I agree with
created
that.
from good is going to attach and grow, and that's when
And then
bad
hijack.
bad intentions come into play
Yeah.
and take over and project their intentions on this tool. So
Yeah, because
everything,
they see it as like an opportunity to like
yeah,
gain power and
and there's
control.
already trust built into those systems that were created from good. So there's an inherent, loyalty to them because, okay, this was
Yeah.
created good. It did good, but now it's hijacked and it still says it's good, but the reality is much different. And
Yeah.
AI is a tool. It it all depends on what you put into it. If you want to use AI to go make porn, which is somehow allowed, like
Yeah.
that's not putting good into it, so you're getting bad output. Like, but if you take good intent and use it to for research and all of this, like I don't.
Yeah, like aligned with your intentions. Yeah, that makes
Mhm,
sense. Because it's kind of like I was actually thinking about this. My kind of disdain for AI, it's not even disdain, it's more like, I guess you could call it fear
mhm,
in a way, is actually, it's gonna make me behind the times very quickly because
yeah,
I can't create what I want to create if I don't lean on something that will optimize
yeah,
my abilities. So I actually am linking it right now to like one time I did a past life regression session and it actually ended up being a future life that I tapped into, but it wasn't my life. It was literally like just 2 years from now, which is only 1 year from now at this point in time. And I it was the life of this dude who was in Antarctica, who was like a sovereign citizen, like climbing a mountain. And I posted about this on my TikTok once, but
yeah. You talked about this a little bit in the first episode too, but it was kind of
perfect.
broad strokes. So keep going. Like,
Yeah, so he's climbing a mountain and then all of a sudden I noticed that I'm with other dudes too, where it's like a bunch of men. I think there's like maybe 5 of us or something.
sausage
And we
party.
get to this top of this mountain. You tell you're a fucking veteran. And we get to the top of this mountain, we sit down, and we're in blue suits, like snowsuits, and we had a little like hooks on our boots, the picks, ice picks. And
Nice. High speed.
we we sit down on the top, and it wasn't a mountain. It was like a crater that like I don't know what you call those. Like in the desert, for example, they have the little didn't we learn this in geography or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah. We learned it in land nav too. Like
Yeah, I wasn't very good at any of that. What was it? A
depression.
depression? No, it was like the crater thing. It was like a mountain, but there's like a cutout. Anyway, all right. So you could actually see it as possibly like a tree that was chopped, and then like the inside was hollowed out like a rotten tree. You know, if you think about it,
Volcano.
the giant trees. Yeah, could also be a volcano. Whatever it was covered in snow, so I couldn't really tell. Look down and there is a military camp there. And it's obviously not like the US military. It was almost like a joint force military of like a bunch of
Consortium.
different yeah, it was like a bunch of different countries like combined and it was like a research team. And I could tell it was a research team because there wasn't a lot going on as far as like uh security goes. It was just really chill. It's like they don't expect people to like show up in Antarctica on the top of their mountain range thing. Like, no way. I'm sure that it's gone years without seeing a single other soul besides their own crew. So we wait till like it was dark out and then we go down to the camp and they had those like white tents that they put up when they're, it's a biohazard thing and they're studying like in the movies and shit. It's like temporary tents. And so our team kind of splits off because like everyone left, I guess, that was working there. And maybe there was an entrance that they were actually guarding, but they didn't expect us to come in from the top. And so we go there and I veer off from my group and I'm walking alongside the little mountain thing and I see this massive fucking spaceship, like disc, and it was on its side rolled into the mountain and like tucked away into the mountain. So like if you were flying from above, you wouldn't be able to see
Hmm.
you wouldn't be able to see it. So it's
Yeah.
hidden for that reason. So it's standing upright and I was like, "Holy fuck, no way!" Like, and so I can feel it. Like even though it was off, I could feel it like going like, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I called over my guys and I was like, "Yo, look at this." And I like put my hand on it. I don't know why I felt like it was safe to do that. I put my hand on it and I got downloads of everything, like, yeah, of things like how it operates. So I put my hand on it and it was like I could tell it was made from an organic material from another like planet.
Hmm.
Um it was powered by consciousness. And what this specific saucer could do was basically whoever's operating it, it amplifies your consciousness. You use it as a tool.
Dude, that sounds fun.
And it reminds me of what you're talking about with AI, depending on like whoever is the operator and their intention. So if an evil person gets into this ship, they can operate it and it will do what they want it to do. I don't know if it has weapons on there or what, like what you could do with it, but it just is your kind of servant. It's like your tool, and it's designed that way. And so it was actually gifted to us by the extraterrestrials, but they snagged it and then hid it from us to
Yeah.
study it and take the technology and then sell it back to us
Do
slowly in drip
nefarious shit
format.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So like all the technology that's coming out is so fucking like behind in the times of like
yeah,
what they actually have access to, the
tale as
military,
old
like,
as time.
and not
Like,
even like the military we were in. Like
no.
we still had barbaric ass shit too. Like why the fuck are we using 240s? Like what? Like why aren't we using like plasma weapons or
Because they're
like whatever at
fucking
this point?
heavy. Like,
Like
and
on Halo.
fucking, like,
Have you played Halo?
yeah. I mean,
Dude, that was so fun when you could like jump. That was the best freaking game, like, when it first came out because you could jump so high, and I imagine that's, like, it's either the future of military or it's, like, in another parallel reality right now, like, in the astral or something like that, I don't know.
yeah.
Um,
It's, but
yeah.
no, and for sure, and that's kind of the perspective I've taken with it. If you feed it a lie, it's gonna give you a lie right back to you. Like if you haven't
Yeah.
gone through, like, that's why if you come from it back to the damn word enlightenment, like I have no shame. Like when it comes, I'll say, "Hey, I'm fucked up. This is why I think I'm fucked up." And, just I experienced this, this that made me fucked up, and here's
Mhm.
everything in detail, and here's um the tenets of narcissistic abuse. Like, is this right? And this was months ago when I first started trusting AI more, and
Yeah.
like, and I always put
And you're not
guard.
just using, like, ChatGPT, like, you're using some other shit, right?
Yeah, I'm using paid models and like high processing stuff, and you know, uh, I use a couple different ones to bounce off and refine data. And okay, I'll take here. I was working on this project over here. I'll take it to another one, run it through, like check this shit for bullshit, and
Yeah, it's like getting
refine.
a second opinion at the
Yeah,
doctor's or
and
whatever.
but
Like, well, yeah.
especially when you're in the isolation phase and you don't like have a
Yeah, you're in,
Melissa
like,
to
echo
bounce
chamber.
stuff off of. Yeah, it it
Yeah.
increased my rate of work, and it puts like all of these are my ideas. I can just take my information, expand it out, and then contract it back, like, into a more
Ooh.
refined,
Mhm.
like, and it all happens boom, 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 boom. Like,
Mhm.
so I'll spend time, I'll write
Yeah, you
something.
could just produce, man.
Yeah.
When I saw you producing content so quickly, like, for example, like a downloadable thing or whatever, I'm like, I'm literally like caveman.
Yeah.
And there's a place and time for that when it comes to
Mhm.
creative
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely.
If I'm gonna write a book or whatever, it's 100% never gonna touch AI, until it's, like, in the editing process and it's out of my hands or something like.
Exactly.
But, what I feel like AI could potentially do is also strip your energetic signature from your stuff as well and hijack it and,
Mhm.
like, encode other shit. But that's just, like, my own kinda intuition on that. I don't really know, but I'm just guessing, especially with voice. I clicked on voice enhancement
Yeah.
of the
I don't
podcast, and I'm like, I wonder if it's, like, because as we, and I might be going down too deep right now, but I imagine people who are listen are on various levels of their consciousness, and but, like, we hold light codes in our tone, in our voice. Like,
Mhm.
our voice is an instrument, and when we speak authentically without all the masks and shit, and without, like, tension in our body and stuff like that. As I'm saying that, I'm like, let me relax in.
Yeah.
Your frequency shifts, but, like, there's a specific signature to your authentic expression, and that is expressed in many different forms. Like, anything you create has your signature on it. And so, like, mine, what I saw was like, because I've done a lot of different weird ass uh like, practices, and, like, I just experiment and everything. I'm like, "Ooh, I wanna try that. I wanna learn that. I wanna learn how to, like, take entities off people. I wanna learn how to freaking do
That's
past
what
life
we're supposed
regression."
to
Like,
do in this
yeah.
world. You
I'm
in
like,
this
"I ain't
life.
scared. Let me
Like,
fucking try it." And then that thing, like, if I see, once I try it out fully, I'm like, "Nah, nope, it's off. There's something wrong with it. It's
shed it.
it's not aligned." And then I take little pieces of it that I liked, though. Kinda
Mhm.
like what we were talking about last time with, you're like, we're trying on clothes, and we're like, "Nah, I don't like that." But one time I was, like, clearing, some of my chakras, and I got to my third eye, and I saw some, like, black smudge on it, and so this literally, you just imagine this shit. This is how easy it is, guys. Like, we overthink everything. We literally just visualize these areas, and then whatever you see is what it is. It's just that simple. And we're like, are we sure? Did I just watch a movie on that, and that's why I'm thinking this?" But it's like, "Nah, just go with it.
Well,
Just go with it."
sometimes no, and that's a part of it too. Like, we have signs for a
Yeah.
reason. There's a fucking movie called Signs. Like, very good Mel
Yeah.
Gibson movie. Or no, that's M. Night Shyamalan, isn't it? Um,
Signs? Oh, I have no idea who did that.
but
That movie is actually funny. I'm just thinking about the little aliens running around.
yeah,
They
and
look so dumb.
I forget what year it came out. I will say it scared the ever living shit out of me when he goes, like, across the front door into the bush.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't
he
know.
did a the director did a
It was
very
like,
good job of building tension. Like, that was ooh.
yeah, yeah. I hate the surprise shit. I always, like, tense up ahead of time so I don't get scared. I'm like,
And
"No, it sucks. I'm already tense. Fuck you."
but if you remember in the movie, the little girl, they would always get mad at the little girl for leaving you know, half filled cups of water everywhere around the
Mhm.
house. And,
Mhm.
you know, it turns out, like, everything had a purpose. Like, the bat was on the wall for a reason. The cups were on the counters for a reason.
Yeah, dude.
It didn't make sense, until there was it was all leading and culminated in. So we're supposed to do that too. We get signs
Yeah.
for a reason. The TikTok algorithm, like, it might seem, you know,
Yeah, like all the tarot readings
arbitrary.
everyone gets. You're
Yeah.
like, all right, now it's getting a little too weird." Like, this
Yeah,
is a
and
stretch.
as long as you can use your discernment and
Yeah.
because you're going
Otherwise,
to
you get
get
hijacked. Or
yeah,
like
you're gonna
the
get
trickster
false
energy is gonna
messages.
come in. Yep, it's like, all right, how far can I take this?
Yeah, and like that's not us saying, "Hey, do that and trust fucking,
Yeah.
run with everything." But there comes a point where you start seeing things over and over again, and there
Yeah,
has to be
dude,
some greater meaning towards it. And
totally.
if you take it and you surrender, like to the calling and say, "Oh, that's me, that's me, that's me," and you move towards it more, that's part of what I did, like, just the
Mhm.
blind commitment. Okay, this has come up too many times. There has to be something here. I'm
Yep.
gonna run with it, and just bang, 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 walls started
Yeah,
coming
that's
down.
that's kinda like my gauge too, where I'm like, "Dude, this is the 3rd time I've heard this same kinda thing today," or, like, this week. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, the same message is coming, I need to start paying attention," or like, "Fuck, I keep dropping my keys this week," or whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
just whatever is getting your attention, and I actually just had this experience in the past week where you had that, conscious awareness of, like, literally everything in your reality is reflecting something back to you, trying to send you messages, and it's like the Truman Show times a million, and also like whatever, yeah, signs, perfect example. It's like the more awake you become, the more you see how obvious the signs are that have been there the whole time. So your external reality doesn't really change much. It's just more so like you just
How
see
you're
it differently.
interacting with it.
Yeah, it's how you're interacting with the particles or whatever in the energy in your
Yeah.
field, and the more, high vibe you are, or, like, the more I like to view it
Intentional
I don't
you
even
are.
yeah, I don't even like to view it as, like, high frequency, like, all that bullshit, because that actually is distortion ultimately, like, it's hijacked at this point. Don't even like, in my I don't lean on that anymore. I would much more prefer to be authentic with where I'm presently at. Like, if I don't wanna fucking call that person back, and I have that hint of like, "Oh, but you should, you'll look like a bad person if you don't call them back." But I'm like, "I don't really feel like calling them back." I'm gonna choose to not call them back because that's more authentic to where I'm at versus, like, what I'm told I should be doing based on what a good person would do. And that's how you get sucked into these, like, false light things. Um, or just, like, the trickster energy, the energy that tries to, like, kinda hijack your awareness and your focus. That's all it is. It's a battle of the focus. Like, all right, I want their attention. I want their attention. And shifting ano it's so funny because you were describing as using AI as like like, "Let me expand this out, and then it's gonna contract back in," and I feel like what we're doing is, like, expanding so
Yeah.
far out from our original point, but don't worry, we'll bring it back in full
And
circle.
but that's the natural rhythm of the world, and
Yeah.
that's something I've noticed. It's expansion, contraction, like, when a
Yeah.
baby is
It's a
coming in.
neurodivergent brain is what it is too.
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, let's follow the rabbit and come
What's it
back
called
in."
when a baby's being born? Contractions. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
and that's the ultimate form of creation in
Wow.
this
Yeah.
this reality. Like,
Yeah.
and okay, so there has to be something to that. And that's what I explored. What is breathing? It's expansion and
Yep.
contraction. What
Yep.
is your heart doing when it's beating? It's expanding, then it's contracting. That's how
Yeah.
it pushes the blood, you know.
Do you aware that the freaking heart is a vortex?
Yeah, I saw that. Like
Bro,
today,
changes the
fucking
game,
TikTok,
bro.
dude. Like
Yeah, it's like if you
a
unravel your
coil.
heart, it's just like a long fucking piece of meat or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's coiled up, it's rolled into a vortex,
And
and it
yeah,
creates its
that
own,
little
like, black hole almost or something like that. It's not black hole's probably not the best term for it, but,
black
like, it
hole sun
I
won't.
mean, that's why it's so freaking powerful. We have no idea, bro, like, what our bodies are really capable of, and we keep
No,
touching on that briefly, but we don't even know either. We just know
they don't
that
know either.
we
The
could do
fucking
so
people
much.
telling us, like, they don't
Yeah, they don't
fucking
know.
know. Like,
They don't know.
they act like they
But
know
it's
because they're coming from a
like,
place of
yeah,
scarcity. Like,
yeah. Even our brains just can't comprehend what we could possibly hold. And the closest thing I could think of is the movie Lucy. Um That's probably the closest depiction. It's like Lucy combined with like Everything Everywhere All at Once movie. Like
Mhm.
combine those two movies with The Matrix.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
We have all
Uh,
these references, you
yeah,
know?
we do. So like these are our little hints and clues along the way. They've been there for a long time, but we couldn't see them until now, kind of thing. The past life regression, which was actually in the future, and then I saw the saucer. Um, in the past life regression stuff, you can fast forward through that lifetime to different days in that life. And we're literally like time traveling when we're doing this stuff. We're quantum jumping basically. And it just seems like we're just having fun, making shit up or whatever, however you want to frame it. But like what we're doing is real when we do these past life regression stuff. But it's also prone to distortion if you don't have your trauma taken care of too. So, anyway, so we get to another day in that life, and I follow this guy back to their little cabin or whatever they had. But there was a lot of people there, and they were still in Antarctica, but they were in another location, and they like hiked all the way to that mountain or whatever. And basically, they were holding a town hall meeting, and
A
they
lot going
I
on
got
in
the
Antarctica.
I got the download or impression that there was a bunch of people from a bunch of different countries that band together that were like, "We're fucking done answering to our government systems. Like, we the people deserve to know what's actually going on." So they took it upon themselves to go to Antarctica and do their own research and take it back to the public. So
That's
they're
sweet.
still in Antarctica in this scene, and hopefully I'm not outing them because this is in the future. But actually, no,
Sorry.
it actually probably already happened because it's been a year and was seeing it 2 years prior, and so it's 1 year out from the next thing I'm gonna tell you about. Um, so they were like, "We're sovereign, we're not gonna answer these governments anymore, blah, blah, blah." So it showed me that piece, and then the third thing I saw on another day, so this is like the 2-year fast forward thing, where I'm standing there, it was me now, it wasn't in this other dude's life anymore, it was me, and I'm standing with some other people to my right, and we're all looking up, and all these ships freaking come down, descend to where we can all see them, not just like the people who are awake. It's like everyone on Earth could see these ships drop, and there was thousands of ships. And I don't know if it was like all over the world or just in this one location, but I was personally standing there so I could help the people around me not freak the fuck out. But the ships were emitting like a love frequency. So
Yeah,
it's
you
like
weren't on.
you didn't have fear. Like you just knew they weren't going to cause harm, but you're so like consciously you know that like all right, it's all good. But your programming is like what the hell? It's like freaking out. Like I don't know if it's your nervous system that freaks out or your mind freaks out, but like your soul knows what's happening
Yeah,
and you have a knowing that you're not going to be harmed. But basically, they were dropping down to show as
and
a
that's
show of
where
force.
frequency is real. Like
Hmm.
there,
I felt it.
like that's how there is subconscious communication done through frequency. Like it's
Yes.
not it's a very grounded thing. It's not like, oh, you can't, it's we do it, we vibrate
Hmm. Well, it's like when
uncon
you walk into a room with someone and
yeah.
you're like, "Ooh, I don't like how it feels in here." It's the same shit. Watching these ships, they were like saucers, um, and immediately you just know, like they're just vibrating at the frequency of love. So it's like, um, you can like a lot of people are scared of extraterrestrials just because like religion just demonizes them. So usually that stuff is like opposite. It's usually the exact opposite, but there's also good and bad in many forms, you know? So, but this one, it's like there's no question their intentions because it's telepathic. Like there's no hiding when everyone's telepathic. You can literally pick up on your thoughts, your intentions, like the other
Mhm.
people's thoughts and intentions. It's like picking up on someone's vibes times a million. There's no hiding whatsoever. And so everyone's forced to be authentic, which is the future. But these ships descend down and they're basically like, as far as my eyes could see, there were ships and they were like, they came down and they were communicating telepathically. And so you just have this knowing, and it's like, we're showing force right now. It's a show of force. Don't be scared. We're here to help you and we love you so much, is like the messages I was getting. And then they just go right back up, boop, and they're gone. And everyone's just like, what the fuck just happened? Because you get
Hmm.
entranced because they can take control of your consciousness, because it's just it's like you're like a radio, and they hijack the radio signal, basically, because your brain's just a
And
receptor
yeah.
or receiver. So anyway, what I got from that was that that's happening soon, probably this year at some point. It may not be around the whole world, but it's probably going to be like maybe Florida. That's where I'm at. Um, and the people who are awake enough are going to be the ground crew to help everyone not freak out and go off the deep end. In many ways.
Yeah.
But you could tell they're like weaning us in already by the UFO, UAP disclosure stuff and movies about it,
So
all
yeah,
that.
exactly. That's ooh, thank you for segueing right into it. Like I went to see a movie with my dad, like that would have been Sunday night, and it's Project Hail Mary. We both read the book. We both really enjoyed the book, and we do that when a book we both read comes out as a movie, we'll go see it. So in the previews, one of the big movies coming out in this summer, like summer blockbusters, is called Disclosure Day, and it's directed by Steven Spielberg. In the way that the Hollywood mechanism works is, yeah, they tell you what's happening, and they use their best directors, their biggest name directors, for the biggest messages they have to put out. So if Spielberg is on something who hasn't done in a movie in a while, like,
Yeah.
pay attention, people. There's gonna be something in there that we need to see, and they're giving it to us on a silver platter with
Yeah.
fucking Spielberg.
And in the past, like when I first started waking up, everything, it's like, don't be afraid, don't show fear, don't have fear about anything. But then at the same time, everyone's fear mongering everything. Like, don't watch TV, don't watch movies, don't do anything low vibe or
Watch
whatever.
it with the right
And I'm like,
purpose.
bro, can we freaking do anything? And so we kind of covered this last episode of
Mhm.
like, freaking celebrate your holidays, do your birthdays, whatever. But like, now that you're awake and aware, you can now make an informed decision for yourself. And you're not just blindly giving your power away. You're not blindly giving your energy to anything. You can set your intentions and do whatever the hell you want,
And you're
ultimately.
getting really good
Um,
information most of the time, like, once you can
Right, like,
do
a lot
that,
of stuff
like,
is very valuable because you get downloads while you watch stuff. Um, like, I rewatched Avatar, and I'm like,
yeah, that's
"Dude."
full of them. Like,
Yeah, like,
those are
ooh.
freaking Lemurians. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, and just how they are with the land, and just stuff like that, and depending on where you are at in your
Awa
consciousness.
is literally like, you know, they're
What's that?
that's what grounding does. Awa is is what they tie their tails into. You
Okay.
know?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so it's the earth energy.
yeah.
But that's what
On their tail, it was their hair, right?
oh, was it their hair? Yeah, yeah, you're
Think
right.
so.
It's been a while. Um,
I just watched it, it's all good.
okay.
'Cause I noticed they link their hair to, like, have sex.
Yeah. Sahelu.
And it
Sah
reminds me of, like, um I imagine and that's actually the same kinda idea as the ship, the spaceship,
Mhm.
how you're connecting your consciousness to it.
Yeah.
and you can exchange energy, information, whatever for it. Um, mhm.
And that's why going out and taking your shoes off and getting in grass, like when you have anxiety, it's diffusing all of that because your nervous system is directly connected
Totally,
with
dude.
earth, and it can help pull that out and ground you. It's that's absolutely fucking true. Like I'll I will die on that hill, like,
Yep. I'm
but
barefoot as often as I can be, basically,
and
touching the dirt.
touch a tree. It's the same
Yeah.
shit because that's grounded. Like electricity, you have to have a ground for it to flow correctly
Yeah,
and
as we're like
not,
conduits. Like,
yeah.
we're like, we're I don't know. I need to, like, actually research, like, how electricity flows and shit so I can have better language for this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're like a thing that energy goes into,
Dang,
that it, like,
yeah.
goes into the ground. But also when you're doing this, I want the instant gratification usually, and I'm, like, always thinking I'm doing something wrong, and then I just give up quick when it's like, "Fuck it, it's obviously not gonna happen for me right now." Um, and 2, just, like, I have trouble with my focus, obviously. So, what I found though was when you are seeking information like downloads from the earth or from a tree or from the ether, whatever, um, you get that stuff, but you have to match not even match. Not only do you have to match to, like, get the information, you have to be an energetic match for it to kind of flow into you, otherwise it's gonna kinda, like, get resistance, which is why bad shit can attach to you if you have unresolved trauma because you're emitting
Hmm.
that frequency in those areas. It's like density, um, but
It's string
what
theory.
happens. Yeah, yep, but, like, in your like, the stuff comes in, but it stays in your orbit, and it can't drop until you make room for it. So if you're like all freaking tight and resistant because you're stressed and you're doing these practices and you're so eager and you're like reaching and too desperate for the information, you're not an energetic match and it's going to kind of repel it. It's going to keep it from entering into your field. And that's kind of how manifestation works as well. Once you're a match for it, it'll drop in. And so sometimes it takes a few days for these things to drop in. And that's why meditation is so helpful because you kind of, um, you almost stop the input from coming in and allow there to be space. So you can actually download this stuff into your system. And sometimes you'll do so much and you're not getting anything. You're like, guess nothing's happening. And then when stuff drops in, it's not gonna feel very, very big because it matches you now, and it's not gonna feel like special. It's gonna feel like either your own thoughts or, like, it's gonna feel very subtle, and that's how you know it's, like, an energetic match for you. Same with manifestation. By the time your manifestation reaches you, it's like you don't really want it anymore. Like, you don't really care as much
Yeah.
because I was and then we'll circle back to the veteran thing in a second.
Yeah. I
Like, dee, 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 string theory. Um, I was communicating with the sky god once. I don't know which sky god it was, but and it was teaching me like my who elements of who I am. And he was like, I was trying to remember a thought that I was having, and then he was like, no, 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 no. Don't chase. Don't chase. Let it come back to you. Like, do not chase shit. Like, a lot. Like, everything in this universe wants to have your eyes on it, wants your attention. And these things are fighting for your attention. And so know who the fuck you are and command what you want to come into your field and then let it come in. And so you basically what that would look like in real life is like, I want that. And then you put your intention and focus on it for a moment, and then you go do other shit. You don't keep checking to see if they text you, like
Mm.
you detach from it. But it's tough to do that if you're not an energetic match for it. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't even want it. So, or it wouldn't feel that special to you. So we'll shift back now into your algorithm.
Yeah.
And what you created with learning about, like, okay, how are these narcissistic systems, which I view them as like parasitic, cancerous systems,
Hmm.
um, that just like feed off of people.
So,
Go ahead.
okay, like this whole it's called the light systems architecture algorithm. It, like I made it this weekend because I had some traumatic stuff go on that you and I talked about, and it's still a little raw for me. My best friend died, like, and he was 36 years old, and pneum- yeah, and I don't. It's tough, like, because we're told we're not supposed to talk about these things immediately after, like, and I'm sitting here putting it out on our podcast, and am I doing him a disservice or, this? I'm not. Like, I love the damn dude, and like, it hit me hard, but instead of repeating old patterns and retreating within myself, like I use that hurt, that trauma to tap into my creative energy, which is one thing that I've been doing a lot here lately to, you know, wondrous effect. And when I feel that pain, it's just a different expression. When, artists make a beautiful song, where does that usually come? A lot of times from pain. And, you know, it's the same concept. I just do it with fucking data and, equations. Um,
Yeah. It's still flowing from that space inside of you with your signature on it.
exactly.
Mhm.
So what I did is I took one of the former ones that I made that like diagnoses, or it doesn't diagnose is a dangerous word too, but it identifies, you know, discrepancies and
Symptom matches.
yeah, manipulations. And I took that, okay, let's apply it to systems. And how, like, Darvo, deny, attack, reverse, victim, and offender, like, in more often than not, if they suppress something, there's a reason it's being suppressed. It's like, okay, all these systems, what are they suppressing? Okay, just expand it from there, put it in a very bite-sized situation for the, AI models to run through. And keep in mind, the algorithm itself is probably like 115 pages of just like it's insane.
Oh,
But
yeah, I've seen it. It's, like, very it looks like there would be math in it,
yeah, there's
but
math.
it's just, like, weird ass words.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'll let you deal with this."
it's hard to explain because it is math. It's like cause and effect. Like, okay, if you run into this, okay, it's gonna be
Yeah.
these things. Okay, then from these things, if this happens, okay, we're gonna go down this train of thought.
You
And
taught yourself this?
yeah,
That's freaking bomb, bro.
and I hate it because my mind understands it. It's just it all happens so fast. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard. I haven't really slowed down to put it into words. Like, if somebody came and hung out
Yeah. It's like
and
probably the first time you're talking about it, like
yeah, out in the open, it literally is.
Yeah.
And
You're like
it,
a little of it's like you're a freaking mad scientist, and then you have this creation, you're like, "I have no
yeah,
idea how to communicate with people anymore because 'cause I've been, like, in my hole."
I'm in a robe, freaking hitting my
Yeah,
vape,
in your
like,
fucking hairs, like
yeah, like, that's literally what it is. I'm just sitting here like, hit my vape, drinking a
yeah, with your
freaking
eyes all
energy drink.
fucking bloodshot,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, and I'm the only
Yeah.
one in my little sphere,
Dude, that's
so
the
I'm not,
best fucking feeling, though, in
dude.
that flow state, bro. Oh, doing
It's
what you love,
beautiful.
it's the
It's awesome.
best.
But
Yeah.
if somebody came and sat next to me and got in it with me, like, I could show them everything top to
Yeah.
bottom and it would make complete sense. But verbalizing such big concepts can be kind of
Yeah.
a bitch. And
Yeah.
that's
I think
where
you're doing a good job.
but that's also something that gets dangerous. And when I've noticed, like with somebody's credentialed in a professional, like
Yeah.
they're more
Like me?
often well, and you've come full circle where like
Yeah.
you knew how to say what everything was, and now you're like, fuck it,
Yeah.
like
That shit's bullshit.
exactly, and
Yeah.
that's more in alignment with what the universe is than what you were trained.
Mhm.
And it's the
Yeah.
same concept. If somebody is speaking from a place of authority, like they know everything on something, that's probably just fucking rehearsed.
Yeah.
Rehearsed and
Yeah, you can
regurgitated.
feel it, like, or at least I can feel it. Like, I can feel it's so weird, like, I never really thought it was that special of an ability, but, like, I can, like, see someone speaking and know where it's coming from, um, and I didn't usually trust that, and I always thought that that was something, like,
It's
judging me or something
performative.
like that. Yeah, I always, like, thought it was me, but then I'm like, once I did healing work and stuff, I was like, "Oh, I actually have, like, a gift to be able to see through people." And the only reason people can develop stuff like that is if they have, um if they're more so in alignment, I think. They're not gonna, like, use it to harm people, basically. Um
And okay, so what all that algorithm stuff means for us in this conversation. Like, it's just diagnosing it. I need to stop using that
Stop it,
damn word.
Ryan.
Shame,
It's
shame.
just it's just D'ing people.
Yeah. So, but identifying these systems, it's in what I want people to understand. I put disclaimers on stuff. Like, the best way to start dismantling everything is to identify it and hold it accountable and do it in a correct way, have the information and say, hey, this is why this is bullshit. And they're going to come back with, no, this is the way it's always been. It's work. It's not broken. But yeah, you've just repeated that. It's obviously fucking broken. Don't piss in my face and tell me it's raining. Like, get that shit out of here. Like, let's call this what it is. Let's be fucking adults and let's work through this and actually create something that serves its fucking intended purpose. It's intended
Yeah,
and
but that's
stated.
ultimately the challenge because the people that are swallowed up in this system are fully indoctrinated and they're
Yeah.
literally brainwashed. So, like, a lot of narcissists are like people who present with narcissistic behaviors.
Yeah. Let's be sensitive. Like,
Well, I mean,
we're,
that's kind of like the more accurate thing anyway, because like no one's,
yeah,
I don't know, yeah, even the
exactly.
narcissistic stuff, it's like distorted, but um they often don't fucking know what they're doing. And this isn't to just like not hold them or not give them that accountability or make them accountable or whatever to their actions, but genuinely like people people are always going to be on their own side.
Yeah.
Even even if they beat themselves up, they're still like making sure that they're on their own side
Hmm.
in whatever way they do it. And the mind is a very powerful thing that will just reinforce your reality. So it'll like add, edit, delete things from your memory or from the experience to confirm your reality. So that's why it's like kind of pointless to try to convince these people in these systems. It's like people who aren't awake yet and you're trying to like get them all alongside with you like, "Hey, don't eat that. It
Hmm.
has humans in it. You're eating a human," you know? And they're like, "What are you talking?" They like don't even want to freaking know anything. So it's like, all right, you kind of got to leave them behind a bit and just start your own shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I've personally had to do with friends and family. And it's not because I don't care. It's because I gotta keep it moving for, like, what I feel pulled to do.
So the VA,
Yeah.
its stated
Love
purpose
perfect segue, man.
from
Nice.
my research and algorithm. The stated purpose, verbatim, to care for him who shall have borne the battle. Okay. And that's from Abraham Lincoln. That's a quote from him. And that's
Okay.
the VA's mission statement, to care for him who shall have borne the battle. Those,
Never even heard of that.
yeah. And
Interesting.
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sentiment. But the reality is, they kind of lost their way. And that's okay. Most systems and
Well,
structures
it
do.
depends on how you define care.
Yeah. Care by over medicating and,
Yeah.
extensive wait times and,
They're like, well, our
crowded
version of
fucking
care is
waiting
different
rooms.
than yours.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Its actual function as today, how it's actually operating, bureau- bureaucratic delays, wait time scandals, mental health gaps, veteran suicide rate historically high, 17 to 22 a day, privatization pressure, dental heavy medical model, the gap analysis, the stated veteran first versus the actual centralized bureaucracy, plus profit aligned contractors, high PTSD and trauma load, unmet by fragmented top down care. Like, that's,
Great synopsis.
yeah. And it serves
Oh, man.
18 million veterans currently. And
Yeah. How many
um,
veterans are there?
it
I
says
know we don't
18
know off the
million.
top of our head. But, like, not everybody goes.
Yeah.
Like, there's a wide majority of
This is
veterans
true.
who don't go to the VA. Yeah.
No,
Let's just
but
say a lot. It's a lot.
well, you got to think like, okay, we think when I first hear that number, I think, okay, that many veterans didn't serve in a foreign war. But that's the thing. Since the VA was established, everybody who's ever gone in and out and served and was discharged, honorably has access. So there might be 4 million active duty service members at any given point in time, both active and reserve and National Guard. Like, you have to take all of these into account too. Like, so it starts making that 18 million number much more, yeah, like, okay, it
Yeah.
could actually fucking be that there's that many veterans out there today that the
For
VA
sure.
should be responsible for serving, but we both know not every veteran interacts with the VA, and it doesn't serve every. It would be interesting. I'll have to fucking do that either tonight or
Mhm.
tomorrow. Go and look and see how many it actually serves. How many
Yeah,
are
'cause if I
registered?
never got service connected, I would never use the VA, period.
Yeah,
I would never fucking go
but
there.
that's the tie. Okay, so to how much it is nice. Like, I'm 60% service, disabled,
Mhm.
so I get that. But that 1,600 a month or however much, how much do they get from the let me find it, the contractors, it's
Dude,
it's
it's chump
po-
change, man.
yeah,
It's fucking chump change to, like, pay us. And then we have the veterans fighting each other like,
they make so much
"You
more
don't
money from
deserve
us
to
on the back
freaking
end.
get paid. What did you do in
Yeah,
service for you to take from other veterans?" Or whatever, and this is the scarcity mindset shit that they keep us fighting each other. Like, it's the Lord of the Flies thing is what I'm talking about. Um, they're like, "Ah, yeah, we don't even have to do much work. We just freaking put the system in place and they'll fight themselves. They'll fight each other." Or like, Animal Farm, same thing.
yeah, and like, and that was a pill for me to swallow. Like, oh, they're doing they're taking care of me, they're giving me the stipend every month. And hey,
Yeah, you just feel guilty
veterans
and obligated.
veterans association, I appreciate it. Disclaimer, like, I love it. It's been very good for me. But at the same time,
Yeah.
two things can be true. Y'all are making a
Yeah.
lot of fucking money every time I go in.
Bro, the freaking everyone who's waking up needs to get very comfortable in the paradox.
Yeah.
Literally everything in this reality is paradoxical, at least in this realm that we're in. So, two things are true at once. Like, we're one, but we are separate kind of thing.
For
Like
sure.
that's
We
a
are one,
that's
we
an
are
example.
none. Like,
Right.
and
Um so it's like it's a matter of which level of consciousness are you tapping into when you're speaking about something. So that's kind of what I'm learning because I love the way that someone put this was like the realities in like different octaves. And so you can tap into different levels of awareness through the octaves like music, like like um and that's what I recently experienced where I was like at the top, or at least that's what I perceived that I was at. I reached the end and then I would drop back down and go back up and it was very disorienting. And um yeah, so when you're first going into the VA, you're kind of at that low level of just that like I'll do what I'm told. You don't have sovereignty basically. You're like used to just being told what to do and you assume that the people that created this system, they know what they're doing. They're the professionals. This is
mhm.
the best that everyone can
Yeah, because
do
that's what we're
with the
told.
money that they have. And there's only so much money because we're all fucking like it's crazy to think about how much money actually goes around,
Oh,
and how much money is taken through taxes and stuff, and then where it actually goes. It goes underground. It goes underground to the bases underground. It goes to the Antarctica. It goes to fucking we're probably gonna get censored now. But uh share this video because we're probably not gonna be able to get pushed in the algorithm.
yeah, like,
I pushed the line too hard.
and
For entertainment purposes only. But
we'll
even the
we'll
fucking system we're in the social media is also a fucking scam.
we'll put this one out on Substack just to be, cover our bases.
Okay. We're gonna
Um,
have to start like a Telegram or something, I think.
I
I
know,
think is
like,
Telegram's the safer one? I don't fucking know.
well,
Safer, like
yeah,
freedom of speech.
and you know,
You guys will
if
have to
you
let us know in the comments where
if
to
you put
show
something
up at.
behind a paywall, like it also like a little bit of a paywall,
Yeah.
it makes it harder for people to come in and censor you because it's like HBO, like they can show
Yeah, like
dick,
a subscription
like
or something.
not. I'm not.
Or
Yeah,
it's
exactly,
not just an open thing where you go on YouTube or something. You have to like
exactly.
go
And
through
I mean, since
layers.
we're since we're in this, like this algorithm spits out the inverse of what we're actually, the shadow version of these systems that that are operating and control things. It spits out the quote unquote light version. And, you know, here's what it spits out. I think veterans should hear this. And, you know,
Of like what to aim or
yeah. And
what
it,
is actually what things are supposed to be or
what it
like
could
should
be.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
like to actually benefit people.
here's the covenant document that it creates. So, the preamble, we, the stewards of the VA, bind ourselves to serve those who served. These covenants are enforceable and not aspirational. Okay. Covenant one,
Mm.
veteran first. Every decision prioritizes veteran well being over bureaucracy or contractor profit. When the system fails the veterans, the system changes. Covenant 2, distributed authority. No single administrator holds concentrated power. Veteran majority sortition councils govern every facility and region.
Yeah. Bro, doesn't that it doesn't sorry. It doesn't make sense that veterans are not running the VA,
Exactly. And
right?
that's
Like that there's fucking like like
who
fucking suited and booted people like
yeah, and that's
with
the
vested
biggest
interest
problem.
in like the pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, who would know this shit better than veterans that have been through it?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and just that simple fact alone shows you, tells you everything that you need to know to open your eyes a little bit. Like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, like
The stuff that you complain about like why aren't veterans running this? Those are the things that indicate that you're starting to question the status quo. That's a sign you're waking up. And that's a good thing. And that's where ADHDers get into trouble in school and shit because they freaking challenge everything. They're like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't agree. Or like they're the disruptors, and it's a designed for a reason. Keep
Mhm.
going, sorry.
Covenant 3, radical transparency. All records, all wait times, all outcomes and budgets are veteran accessible in real time. Plain language
Wow.
mandatory. Covenant 4, robust accountability. Veteran oversight boards have subpoena, sanction, and removal authority, no immunity for harm.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Covenant 5,
That's a
agency
really good one.
maximization. Every interaction builds veteran self management capacity, no lifetime dependency, exit pathways guaranteed.
Ooh, tell me about that one. Like, uh, exit pathways guaranteed. Oh, like, you're not this isn't designed for you to be attached to for
Yeah.
life?
Or, well, no, exit
Or what?
pathways, you can participate as long as it is like, okay, them giving us, the disability rating. And it's no strings fucking attached as like
Gotcha.
this is
Okay.
your
Kinda
this
like
is your
you're able
rating.
to go to community care or something if you would
Yeah.
like, but you don't have to sit here and do what we tell you to do to keep your
It's not
benefits.
contingent. Like,
Right. Yeah.
and
Like what they were just trying to pass.
bingo.
Or
And
like that rule that they just
let's
redacted
be
or
clear,
didn't
that
approve.
shit
Yeah.
didn't die on the vine. That was,
No.
okay,
They're trying to see how
we
far they could
react,
go. Yeah. And then
and
it's
they're
a
gonna
test.
refine it a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's gonna come
Just like
out in a
COVID
little
was
bit
as
a
well.
different way. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
heads
How
up,
far can we
fucking
take it?
veterans, head
Yeah.
on a swivel, fucking stay frosty. It's
Yeah, but
fucking
honestly,
coming
like
back.
my angle, and this is like how I operate with everything, or as much as I possibly can, is never being reliant on any system or anything outside of myself.
No.
But I understand though that a lot of people aren't necessarily at that place. They don't have necessarily like, the resources, they don't perceive that they do. So they're gonna be relying on these systems. Just like, you know, I gotta pay into the system to have my house, just like
Yeah.
stuff like that. So, kind of like one foot in, one foot out is like how I view a lot of things. Which could be a downfall too in relationships. Hard to have friendships that way.
Yeah, but it all goes back to this is what we've been operating with. This has been our programming. We're
Yeah,
trying to
yeah, because we've been backstabbed, man,
yeah,
with
and
our own systems. Yeah.
and fuck me if I'm not going to put myself out there and try to create everything that I'm sitting here talking about right now. I'll live it. I just got to figure that shit out. Like,
Yeah, like we're in this infancy stages where it's like we have so many big dreams, and it's like it kind of gets overwhelming, at least for me, because I never envisioned that I would be a part of the rebuild necessarily. It was more so I envisioned I'm just gonna do my little part and help people heal so they can go rebuild. But you presenting this to me, I'm like, oh shit, am I gonna
yeah,
like be directly involved with this?
sorry.
Like, am I gonna be like uh,
You're in it,
on a
Melissa.
round table with a bunch of people to build this shit with, like, we need a billionaire though on board, so anyone
Yeah,
who's a billionaire that
we're the
wants to
12.
be in on this,
I'm working on it.
we're here.
Like, but
Yeah. Ryan, sell
it's
your
tough.
algorithm so we can get some moolah,
Yeah.
so we could build these systems. Yeah.
And that one's really good. It takes your epigenetic score, like, or your test results, and it runs it through an algorithm, and it tells you what genes are expressing or hypermethylating, hypomethylating, what are blunted, and it attaches it to a treatment program that starts to decrease the symptoms or the expressions, neutralize them, and reverse them. And it does it by taking supplements and maybe some peptides, which are natural produced
Yeah, because it's all, like,
enzymes
minerals
in your
basically
body.
that we need, like,
And
that we're not absorbing. Yeah.
yeah, and that's not to say your mind can't heal your body, you can't do it. That just gives your body a boost from zero, like, or negative. Um, anyway,
Yeah, but I'll kinda advocate for that because you gave me one for my daughter with really bad eczema, and I actually like, I looked at it and then I had a meeting with her doctor to go over the genetic stuff, and he was suggesting the same shit on your, thing, but and then some. Like, your thing had more, than what he was recommending, so I ran that by him, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." Like, "Oh, she's doing the broccoli thing? Cool." Like, "Yeah, that's on her thing," and
Sulforaphane, people. It's a miracle
yeah.
worker.
Yeah, so, it's legit so far as what from what I've seen, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, and it's I wouldn't say it's unpolished, but literally all we had to do was take the fact that she has eczema, the severity of it, and her epigenetic test results, and all I do is pull it in, type a little bit up, hit a button, and but that was months worth of
Yeah,
research that I did and compiled, like, and filtered and refined, and it's very grounded in scientific review and study, and there's no bullshit in there. There's no fucking conjecture and fucking opinion. It's all based on fucking cause effect, like one
yeah,
one, and it's
yep, love that.
binary, not fucking bullshit.
Dude, they could even use that and research that too, like, so many possibilities
Yeah.
of, like, using how effective that is, and you're right, there's a lot of different ways people can heal, but it's kinda like, what do you feel called to do for yourself?
Yeah.
Some people heal themselves with their mind, like, through their will and stuff, they can
Hmm.
do that. But some people, their path is gonna look a little different, and they're going to heal in whatever way they need to. So, like, mine was through the mental health route and, like, subconscious reprogramming and having these, like, really deep experiences, spiritual experiences too. Some people choose plant medicine, but you can kinda go in and out too and
Hmm.
dabble in a little bit of everything, whatever you feel called to do. And this kinda is a good segue into the trauma, how to heal from trauma, or you wanna continue with that?
I got two more just to
Okay,
round
the
it out,
covenant. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because it's
Perfect.
seven
Thanks.
yeah, each it
Don't let
puts
me
out
veer off too far, Ryan.
it puts out 7 covenants for each fucking system that's made. Okay. In Covenant 6, epistemic justice. Combat trauma lived experience equals medical credentials. Veteran peer review
Ooh,
required for all protocols.
ooh,
Lived experience is equal to, you have to have both. You have to have the knowledge and lived experience. If you don't have both, you have nothing. Like,
wow.
it's a
Yeah,
hill of beans. Like,
yep.
so you start by getting doctors like the doctor at my, you know, um, clinic, and getting his opinion, and getting veterans. You start.
Yeah, but then with this kinda, like, requirement, if that was, like, a thing, then you would start also creating programs to train up
Yeah,
veterans with combat
exactly.
experience who have gone through this, and so now they have, like, a vested interest because it's close to their heart rather
Bingo.
than just, like,
It's
operating from, "Oh, well, this paid me the best, so I'm gonna work there," or, like, "They're the most chill, they offer the best benefits," whatever, and that's what's happening now. It's like, you get the people that stay forever, and a lot of them, their heart is no longer in it, they don't freaking care, and that's who you end up seeing, and you're, like, hanging on by a thread.
and that's where the word sortition, that's what that is. It's a rotation of, veteran. It's a rotating veteran board, like, where people don't get
Nice.
burned out. They don't get, like, you train these up, and every time, every iteration, you have this new
Wow.
batch of trained veterans that know how to do this and know how to
Yeah.
speak on it, and then they become the oversight board late, down the road. They're not always on call, they're not always working, but when there's a problem, they can circle back, like, and that oversight board can come in and say, okay, where is this sortition going wrong? Here's how we're going to fix it. And they're not vested in it. And, they can identify the problem and rework it quick between 90 and 180 days.
Because this
Like,
is like kind of a dream come true for a lot of people who struggled in school, who struggle in their workplaces because they care a lot and no one else cares.
yeah.
And like they're the people that come in and like, hey, I have a solution to this problem. Why don't we do it this way? And then right now they're getting gaslit or just like, just go do your job, bro. Don't stop trying so hard,
I was that
And
fucking
so
kid,
me too.
like, and it was so frustrating. And now, like, I have,
Yeah.
everybody that sees some of the stuff that I'm working on comments on, yeah.
Yeah, you're
And
harnessing that probably the thing that you got that was pointed out as a flaw
yeah,
is now being used to its fullest capacity at this point in time. And it's
and
just
it's
going to
hitting
keep
hard.
expanding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
It's
and
better than drugs.
oh, no shit. And I like
Yeah.
drugs. Like, fucking some, some. I've,
Oh, no.
I've,
Yeah, put a disclaimer, Ryan. No, I'm just kidding. They'll
like,
figure it out. They'll be okay.
Covenant 7, intergenerational responsibility. No debt or trauma passed to veteran families. Positive transmission through peer mentoring and family wellness enforcement. Veteran referendum, 20% trigger, oversight board sanctions, independent judicial review, annual covenant review, plus 5-year renewal vote required. So basically, then there's an implementation roadmap in 3 phases: 0 to 2 years, 2 to 5 years, 5 to 20 years. And then there's anti-hijacking safeguards and detox protocols. And
Nice. Just like in
yeah,
the freaking yeah, it's like a cancer. It's like,
like,
"Oh, we're infiltrated. We gotta weed it out." Yeah.
so this is what I've made. And you can literally do it for every system and structure there is. And,
Yeah.
it goes back to, this shit's not going to happen overnight, but we need to wake
Yeah,
up to what we can build. And that's just
for sure.
we, the fucking people. It's not
Yeah.
I, the fucking people. Like, 1%
Yeah,
the
there's no
fucking people.
fucking way you're gonna be able to do this by yourself, and it gets too overwhelming, and I think that's why why we were brought together, because you're gonna show me, at least from what I'm seeing so far, you're gonna show me the benefits of outsourcing the busy work and the stuff that's just taking up bandwidth that does not need to be there. Like, if I would have used what you're using for my, like, course that I created, I
Hmm.
coulda had that shit done so quickly. But in the process, I learned a lot. But, like, now I learned a lot about myself. But now I'm, like, focused on, like, okay, how can I get stuff out so people can access it as quickly as possible? And it's not because
Hmm.
I feel like this fire to do it or else. It's just more of, like, I know I can do it. I know, I have the information. It's
Yeah,
just
for
a
sure.
matter of getting it out there, like, in a way that people can receive it. And so, like, what you're talking about is, like, a great structure.
I know we're a lot alike, and one of my biggest problems when, before, is I would get caught up in, like, get caught in it. If I wasn't continually moving forward, it's back to the expansion and contracting thing. You build,
Yeah.
build, build, and you run, run, run until you run out of road. And that's when you circle back for the contraction. Like, you catch everything on the way back, like, and you refine it, and it helps to have a team or a structure in place where when you're doing that refinement, like, you can catch a detail that you might, uh,
Yeah, you
that you
get the
didn't
blind
expand
spots.
on enough, and you expand that a little more and integrate it in, or there's something a little bit misaligned. You either realign realign it or remove it. But that's why I haven't put all this stuff out yet, because this problem is bigger than any one, two
Yeah.
people can handle. It's going to take a
Yeah.
team, and you know, and that's a team of however fucking many that want to be on board and be a part of this journey and this
Yeah.
experience. And it's not to say that we're going to condemn, like, it is a condemnation of systems, but it's also like taking power back into our own hands, because we do have that fucking right to,
Yeah. And you meet
say,
yourself where you're at of like what like a lot of times you're like, I don't feel like fucking with that. I just want to be in my own little bubble and worry about myself. And that's perfectly fine because there's certain people that are going to be those people that are like, sign me up. I'm ready. Like, I want to do this. How can I help? Like, there's always going to be those people. So it's more important to be like authentic to yourself, honest with yourself about where you're at and not, feel like you got to change the world just because it's like the right thing to do. um,
feel it. And
yeah,
and that's the thing. It doesn't it's also something that it won't be necessary to have everybody,
yeah.
like, and
But everyone will eventually start participating, and so you might be the consumer of it,
bingo.
rather than the
So
creator.
you're
So
more
they'll
than
be the
welcome to have a say
yep,
in it, and as you always should. We just you weren't ready for it for the first expansion. Like, it's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
contract
It's kind of
again.
like awakening if you think about it.
Yeah.
People are talking about like you're gonna be picked up for the 5D and it's coming in waves, and people are gonna shift over to the 5D, and maybe you're not on the first wave, but you'll be on the second, blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, cool. It's nice to know that stuff, but people get stuck there and then they
Mhm.
get obsessed with it, and then they don't
W
make moves on
yeah.
what they're supposed to be doing here or like what they wanted to do, which is honestly it's okay.
Mhm.
what I'm learning is what I'm learning is like and I think I mentioned this on the phone with you at some point. But I was like the energy of source or like creator energy, God, like whatever we're getting our shit from and our drive from within us, whatever. Um it it's never going to rush you. Um, it's gonna be like one of those parents like, "Hey man, take your time, no biggie, no big deal." Um, like you do you. Like
Yeah.
that, it's basically ultimate freedom to do whatever the fuck you want. So,
And I've noticed, if ever I
mhm.
feel rushed, that's me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not this, like,
It's old
it's
programs. That's it.
yeah,
So,
exactly. And I'm
because
still
this
guilty of
reality,
it.
yeah, the reality we're in is not the time is not linear, and we're not all on the same pacing of time either. I think we're all experiencing time differently, but depending on our nervous system, depending on like how we interpret reality. But there is like a collective timeline of sorts, but we're still like not quite all there at the exact same time. But so what I'm recognizing is like when you take your time and just like relax, you will get there faster, quote unquote. But like the universe is gonna move with you at your pace. And it's the scarcity mindset shit that we get stuck in of like, but I have to hurry or else I'm gonna miss the
Yeah.
wave, the next 5D ascension wave. Like I gotta hurry and check all my boxes and make sure I'm only thinking high vibrational thoughts. And like that's the shit that keeps people stuck. That's the false shit. Or like that's not what we're here to do. It's okay to stay in that as it's everything is okay, guys. You go at your pace at whatever the fuck you wanna do, like, you are free to do whatever you want, and that's one of the biggest lessons to learn, but once you reach, quote, unquote, "enlightenment" or whatever, and you've learned enough, you've been in this spiritual journey long enough to where you're like, "Okay, I'm kinda getting bored," or like, "Is this it?" You kinda almost, like, reverse back to the awakening
Mhm.
back to the 3D in a way of like, okay. Now I'm aligned. Now I know what I'm doing. Now I'm going to come back and do my actual job and like integrate back into the 3D. So that's kind of like
Yeah.
what happens. And so one thing that got me stuck was thinking that this all is going to end soon.
Nah.
Um, well, because
Logical
like,
fallacy.
so some of the stuff that I was consuming, just the creators that there's only like one real one that I actually have followed from the beginning, just because like they're very grounded in what they say. But they're like, this is the last, like every single thing that was going to happen has happened, and so now it's time to close. And this was supposed to end a long time ago. But like the powers that be, whatever, in the 3D are like dragging it out and controlling time or whatever
Mhm.
and keeping us like, I guess, but I'm just going off of what I've heard at this point, not from my own personal experience, but um the whole point of this is to remember who we are. But then there's, like, all these little segues in between of, like, oh, you do this journey and you do all these amazing things and you save the world and da da da, but it all is to come back to yourself at the end to remember how powerful you are and stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm like, "Okay, so, like, how far does it actually go? Because everything's infinite." So it's like, well, when does it actually end? And,
When
so
we
there will be
collectively decide
an
it, it needs to fucking end, and that's part of
So we
it.
have to be awake enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and understand, like, we have the knowledge is all within us. It's inherent. We can feel it. We can feel when something is bullshit.
Yeah,
Like, now expand that to a greater level, and then you can start seeing societal
yeah,
bullshit for what it is and come up with a fucking grounded solution. Just like you come up
yeah,
with a grounded solution in your everyday life to start healing trauma. It's
yeah.
what
So really,
as above, so below,
yeah.
you know, as within, so without, like everything at a micro level is happening at a macro level, and the same fixes apply. Like,
Yeah,
you
and like
don't,
in every galaxy and every planet and every like
hmm
all the beings that we're aware of with like they're all affected as well
yeah.
by this
So
whole thing.
if you can fix a problem at a micro level, you can fix it at a macro level, and vice versa.
Yeah, well, I think there's a ripple effect too, because even in therapy, we I say like, well, we can tackle it from the bottom up or the top down. Like, what are you feeling today? And there's a million ways to tackle, and this goes into the trauma healing.
Well,
Um,
and that's the thing. This what we have to do is not from bottom up or top down, bottom up. We got to go middle out.
Yeah,
And
well, and it starts individually with each
yeah,
person too, because if someone who has not healed their trauma is creating these systems, it's fucked from the beginning.
exactly. You've got to bring you got to hit the middle and bring them both together, just like you're integrating your shadow and your light, or
Yeah.
shadow and self. Like, you've got to,
Well, how is like a cell made? Hmm. Is it like that?
yeah.
Because it would look the same, I imagine, right? Like since
Hmm.
we're all like the same on all the levels
Yeah.
ultimately, and how
And
things are created.
so I
Mm.
think I'm still working on it, but that movie I saw, Project Hail Mary, it's about you know, there is a parasite, interstellar parasite eating the sun's energy. But what it's doing is it's traveling to the sun, it's absorbing energy, then going to Venus to replicate, to mate, to reproduce. And you know, spoiler fucking alert. Sorry, guys. It's a good movie. Ryan Gosling kills it. Big fan. Um, Married to Eva Mendes. Good for him. Kudos, Ryan. Great
He's
fucking name too. Um,
probably corrupt, but we'll just love him anyway.
there are, but that's the we don't. It's hard. Like
Is he
maybe
a reptilian? Is he not? Is he? Has he sold his soul? If he's in these
that's a
movies,
fucking trap. That's its
but
own
does it
fucking
really
trap.
matter?
Yeah, like
I know.
and the story's the story. There's the story. Like and you know basically how it led me to start conceptualizing how life was made because everything starts at a cellular level and it's a cell. It's a single cell organism that's getting consumed by an amoeba, a slightly multiple cell organism. Okay, when that cell eats this single cell, or that amoeba eats this single cell organism, like parasites, it grows into something else, and that evolution, then it's not. And then, like, let's say a solar burst comes, boom, hits it with all this energy. Like,
Well, it's kind of what's happening to us too. Like
yeah.
we're getting kind of like activated our
Hmm.
DNA, whatever, by the codes from the sun,
Yeah.
and we're
And
giving them right back to the sun.
yeah. And I'm skipping a bunch of steps because there's like, this is getting into galactic fucking creation, multiple levels, but I digress. It's something I stumble because I'm thinking about it while I'm talking about it and trying to fucking come up with something. It's something I need to sit with, basically.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm going to add it to my fucking to-do list. But like
Yeah.
um I'm going to because it's fucking fun and I might not get the exact information that I thought I would out of it, but I'm going to take something away from it
Yeah,
that's
it's piquing your
usable.
interest for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And that's a little trust those little nudges, especially if it excites you or if you feel like it's fun.
explore it.
Yeah.
Like
Which
and
is
do
why I'm
it.
doing this podcast. It actually feels like, I finally have an outlet to just like say whatever the fuck I want without having to hold back or censor because the systems I've built in my reality don't really allow for me to fully express. And that's something I'm working on by saying, okay, I'll do a podcast.
Yeah, and we're not always in alignment on everything, but we can both hear each other out and be like, "Oh, yeah." Like,
Yeah, because I mean, there's truth in everything depending on how you look at it and where it's getting framed from.
mhm. And
Hmm.
if we're off track with something, like, okay, well, that wasn't for any of this, and you don't attach yourself in these identities, so it's easier to fucking shed shit. And especially when you start bringing more views together that can operate in that sort of capacity, the room to get shit done in a fucking good and fucking coherent fucking way starts compounding. It's natural fucking law. Like it's exponential, putting an exponent on a fucking number that's three, 2 to the 3 times, 2 to the 3rd power, fucking bam.
Hmm.
You
Stop talking math.
sorry. I was shit at math, let me tell you. Like I made it to high school algebra. I did fucking,
Yeah.
you know, a little more geometry, and then by junior year I was like, "Ah, fuck this." Like,
Yeah, we just need to know like how why do I need to know this? How is this going to be applied? And then we'll be interested
yeah, and now I'm
to
sitting
learn it.
here fucking making mathematical out, but it's with words and concepts. They're equations, but they're in a language I fucking understand.
Yeah.
I didn't
I wonder if you've done this before, Ryan, in another life.
probably like I haven't
Yeah.
like I know it's obvious this is coming from somewhere. And
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
like I said, I haven't done, you know, I haven't fully, the past life regression. I'd love to, and I've felt echoes.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
lie,
we could do it.
but
We could do it. Um, one of the things that was so validating to me was, like, from my past life regressions, because 'cause you'll be shown the things that you need to see for your growth. It'll be like, because there's, like, so many past lives, you don't just jump in randomly to a random spot. It's like it's curated for, like, what you need to see now, I imagine, by your higher self, and which is your, like, subconscious, and I think they're, like, synonymous, but the lives I was shown was basically, in a nutshell, showed me that I've been a healer in many, many lives, like, trauma healer
mhm.
for military, and not just on this planet.
Well,
Like,
okay.
there were some blue people I was helping.
No, and okay, I say I've never, like, that's one download I've had. Like, I was in World War One, and I got fucking nailed with mustard gas, and
Mm,
I was dying in a French fucking stand-up clinic, like, being
yeah.
tended by a nurse that, I was enamored, or, I was
What are the, symptoms of getting hit with mustard gas?
like, your skin blisters and fucking your lungs fucking incinerate, basically. Like, it's an
Yeah.
acid, and
Well, I say that because one thing that I, learned through the learning about past lives,
mhm,
it's like a lot of times in this life, people will have phobias and they will have physical responses from past lives. So,
yeah,
like, people get hives on, like, say, their neck. That could
yeah,
be, like, directly linked to being burned at the stake, in another life. Or, like, I have a fear of deep, dark water, and I asked my higher self this during my past life regression, and, my higher self was like, "Oh, yeah, you were attacked by a monolithic eel at some point."
yeah, I
I was
remember.
like, "Well, yeah, that makes sense that I would be scared of deep, dark water where I can't see my feet." So, like, people's fear of heights, people have these weird ass phobias. That's not by chance. Like, if you don't have any real reason why you'd
Yeah,
be scared of something in this life,
it
it could
has
be
to come
linked
from
to
somewhere.
yeah, it's, like, encoded in your genetics or in some sort of soul recognition. I don't know how the past life stuff goes in because it's not all in your lineage, in your ancestry from this body. It's something else that gets encoded from somewhere else.
Okay,
Only you would know about that.
so mustard gas exposure,
Okay, nice, nice, okay.
nausea, vomiting, eye pain, tearing, light sensitivity, runny nose, sneezing, sore throat, skin redness, hoarseness, dry cough, skin blistering, productive cough, skin darkening, secondary infections. So I just said I had fucking hives earlier. Like,
That's what I'm saying, like,
my
you got that download for a reason.
yeah,
It's another sign, and you have to
exactly.
interpret what that means. Yeah,
And we just
and why you
followed
were
it.
shown that.
Yeah, and we followed it live. It's this exact thing. And, my old job, I have light sensitivity, so I had to get fucking blue, blue lens glasses, and or, blue light glasses, and,
Yeah,
you know, skin
yeah.
redness, all the shit on my face. Like, yeah, and I had that download of I was in fucking fucking World War I France, fucking getting treated for mustard gas, and I fucking died.
Yeah, very traumatic death. So that gets encoded in you, and you carry it with you in your next incarnation.
Yeah.
Um, and so someone like me could work those things out, or help guide you to know what to do to address that. Um, because, like, some going back to, like, trauma healing, someone asked, like, how do you heal these traumas that are stuck, that are blocking your energy centers? So your kundalini energy can't flow through, or, like, you can't receive messages that you're trying to get access to, or you're trying to raise your frequency and you're struggling. Um, there's so many different ways to address this, and often it's going to boil down to what you feel drawn to. So for me, it it was I learned this, I posted about this, like, a few months ago where I had this download of, like, holy shit, I became a therapist to heal myself.
That's
It
big.
wasn't it
Like,
wasn't actually for other people. Like, yeah, that's a byproduct, but it was actually to learn how to heal myself,
well,
and
was
I'm
it
like, "Oh,
last
shit."
episode we talked about that, or episode 2, where, you figured out, or, we were talking about the 3 types of awakening, the gradual, the natural gradual, or yeah, and that would align with that because, okay, this is how my kundalini started because I took the gradual path because I was a therapist and I learned through, you know, practice and,
Right, and learning
using
that, like, this one doesn't work, it's not getting to the root, I know that, and it sucked because the people that I was working with, they they were looking at me like, "Why do you like, we don't heal. We don't heal people. Like, just do what you're told, basically. Follow the rules. Stop veering
yeah,
off course." It's like it's very disorienting for people, and it's it's gonna rub them the wrong way when you break out of the matrix like design. And that's part of the process. There's so
absolutely.
many yeah, there's so many avenues in which you can heal. So for me, there's you can view it as the top down or the bottom up or the breaking through the middle thing. There's so many angles of which this could be tackled. So for me personally, I have done kind of like inner child shamanic type healing, which is internal family systems work, which very you basically look at your internal world as its own ecosystem, and it's called internal family systems because it's your own internal family, and how your internal family interacts with one another is how it will show itself in the external too. So how your own family looks and how your own family interacts with each other will be a good indicator of what your internal world's like. And
Mhm.
basically it'll be a bunch of polarization going on, um, a lot of isolation of these parts of you, these characters inside of you that are all trying to do jobs, but they're not communicating. It's kind of like our system right now in the macro level of like everything's siloed, um, nothing's updated. It's like it's neglected, it's being siphoned for like extracted for, you know, whatever materialistic benefit. So, for example, overriding your physical body sensations when you feel uncomfortable with something or when you need to go to the bathroom and you say you don't interrupt the podcast because you have to go pee, you hold it, like stuff that I do. You're like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. That's a small version of healing. It's basically at the nutshell of healing, becoming the most authentic version of you, which you already are, but you're just right now you're wearing a mask and you don't realize that you are. So through this internal work, like internal family systems, hypnosis, subconscious reprogramming is a way to do it. These are just going to be different layers because different things different blockages that you have are going to require different angles and different approaches. So you could do like energy healing. You could do um, go into the chiropractor, like different moving your body differently, through yoga, through you could go like acupuncture, like
Ooh, I wanna try
jujitsu.
acupuncture so bad.
Same. Cranial
Like,
sacral therapy, heard great things about that. Cupping. You could go to the salt room, you could do infrared sauna. There's gonna be different activators, but the most important thing is to follow what you feel drawn to, what actually interests you. So, like,
mhm.
talking about the human psyche, if that sounds interesting, like say you're a psychology major, like that you just were drawn to that class in school or whatever, like maybe the therapy route is the way to go because that's how you're going to resonate with certain things. And all these things are doing is they're allowing you to have a safe enough environment for you to drop in and just heal. It's it's going to give you a different experience of reality so the real you can enter in. Remember I talked about like creating spaciousness within you so that stuff that's orbiting your field can drop in. Well, it's kind of the same thing when you're healing trauma. You have to regulate your nervous system enough for this stuff to automatically do its work because your body is designed to heal itself. So it's more important to get yourself in an environment that feels safe enough so that healing can just naturally occur. And that's why it can happen in so many different forms, like through gardening, farming, just like leaving your freaking toxic spouse, stuff like that. Stuff that you feel called to do that you've been putting off is likely the thing you need to do. But fear gets in the way. And fear is like most of the time, if we actually play out that fear, it's not like the end of the world kind of thing. You just got to create a plan around it and then you can take action. So, Ryan, what's your 2 cents on healing? Healing from trauma. Like how
I
did you
mean,
do it?
duh, if you didn't fucking nail it. But
Like I can add like self-help books, reading,
no,
even
I
watching
didn't.
movies, man.
I listened to
Mhm.
books, and it wasn't like self-help books. Like it started there, like, and discussed it. A book on narcissism fucking took me into a route. Like it started pushing me down this path, and you know, but I didn't jump from self-help book to self-help book. I started listening to stories like of experience, like, or fiction a lot. Like, okay, Game of Thrones, you can go into Game of Thrones and look at Game of Thrones from an internal family systems fucking perspective and see a lot of the mistakes that were made. Okay, here's narcissism, here's empathy, here's this,
Yeah.
and here's how it interacts, and this mistake was made to that this person got their head got chopped off because, they're an empathetic person, not, unknowingly going into a fucking viper's nest.
Mm.
And
Yeah, so
like,
it's all about your level of awareness while you're doing whatever it is you're doing
yeah.
and like what your intentions are. Yeah.
And then I got into then there's this book series called Commune about post-apocalyptic fucking y- like stuff, and it's one of my favorite book series is in the world because there's a lot of psychology at play, like live in action and very deliberately. um and what else? Then next was literary art role-playing games where the main character gets zoomed out into the expansive universe, like, and is dealing with all this shit. And I was like, hey, this shit has to come from somewhere. If it's in somebody's memory where they can make it a fiction book, like just the very existence of the conceptualization of something like that means it has existed somewhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it can't, it literally is fucking laws of the universe
Mhm.
impossible for matter
Yeah.
cannot be created nor destroyed, so it comes from somewhere, this thought that okay, and as if it's coherent and cohesive, like this was a fully fleshed out fucking memory of something, you know
Yeah.
and what
Yeah.
cell was that attached to that got blasted out into here and fucking it just kept snowballing, and I would put my lived experiences in these things and say, okay, I can see myself in this person, let me walk a mile in these shoes for a little while, and correct any mistakes that they might have made,
Yeah.
then go back and correct any mistakes that I might have made, and it's an ever evolving process. Like it doesn't just fucking stop. Like
Yeah.
that's
Totally.
stagnation, and
Yeah.
part of the issue is stagnation. Like we get to a
Yeah.
point where we're comfortable, and I've gotten to the point where I look for discomfort because that means I'm working through some shit. That means I'm figuring something out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and if are you in the contraction or the expansion, and, like, what does that look like? And exactly right, and I've always wanted to have different jobs, like, I've always wanted to be challenged in different ways, and people always look at me like, "Dude, why do you want your life to be so packed full of stuff?" And so I'm always in contemplation, like, "Okay, is this a trauma response, or is this, like, my actual desire?" You know? And it could be both. And this is where you have to meet yourself where you're currently at, instead of trying to reach for something that you're not quite ready to hold.
mhm,
So like, well, this person looks this way. Why can't I be more like them? Well, because you're not them. And but even viewing them that way is part of what you need to be going through to heal from your traumas and stuff. But there are more fast track ways. So yeah, I think there's different levels of which you're gonna experience that healing, so sometimes it feels very physical, like I felt an energetic release, when I did a combo of EMDR, like eye movement, back and forth
yeah,
bilateral eye movement, along with me doing internal family systems,
mhm,
unburdening an inner child at the same time, and I needed that eye stimulation
yeah,
to help me drop in deeper, and that's when I had that, like, visceral release within. And then I had another physical, energetic shift in my body when I did past life regression hypnosis, but before that, you do entity release, which I don't do anymore because there's just some things that I didn't really, like, align with, but it was effective on me for, like, what I needed to do at that point in time
mhm,
to it was like a succubus energy that was stored in my sacral. So that bitch looked like freaking venom, bro. Like no joking. And that's how I also learned through that experience what it feels like what's my energy and what's not my energy, and how you can like merge consciousness with something that's outside of you that's not you, and or at least that's not your what you're going to identify as. And when I was like, when I had a evil laugh combined with me crying because I couldn't believe that this thing was inside me, or like this consciousness had been within me for decades, was fucking terrifying. But when that got removed, my body had a physical reaction as if, and it reminded me of when I've had babies. And so when the placenta gets removed,
oy,
um, you like, my body was shaking, like I had like I was cold. Like, it felt like a surgery had just occurred and something got removed, and my body was, like, in shock, like, "Holy shit, what just happened?" And and the weirdest thing was after this session, my physical body, like, I used to have more, bloat in the upper half of my abdomen, which is interesting. Uh, but once that thing was out, now I just have the bloat in the lower half where like I've had babies. So unless where my other freaking digestive tract is. But I was like, oh my God, even though this thing like wasn't physically there, like
mhm,
it was energetically there and taking up space because of the trauma code it was holding.
yeah,
It like told those cells to operate in this way, and then also communicated to my thought forms, like it projected thought forms into me and created certain emotional sensations. So there's a lot to go into that, but all that to say, like there's different levels of healing. So you have the physical releases that you'll feel, but then you also have the more intellectual understandings. And then through experiencing something different along with emotion in that
mhm,
experience, that's when the subconscious shifts will occur, and then the changes will naturally follow without you having to try.
And I want to put one of my disclaimers on things here, because
Mm,
and
mm,
be
mhm.
careful. Like, your healing follows intent. And, like, okay, so through my healing process, I was, let's say, ignorant of the power of thought. Like, in, so read the book on narcissists. And I've told you a lot of this, but I'm kind of going to expand of, what covenants actually mean. And, you know, I read that book and I came out of it and I was like, okay, it's my life's goal to expose every narcissist I come into contact with. I didn't know what, you know, I said it's my mission, like, and I completely meant it and I was totally attached to it. But I thought there might be one true narcissist in every 100 people, like narcissistic behavior. Then I
Yeah.
started noticing, oh, it's much more prevalent, like people reacting out of in its selfish intent, scarcity intent. That's
Yeah.
basically what narcissism is. Narcissistic characteristics is fully embodying scarcity mentality. Okay.
Yeah, like, always trying to, like, be above, be on top because there's only enough to go around or,
Yeah.
kind of idea, yeah.
And then it turned into, okay, well, oh shit, these systems are. So, and I've made this fucking covenant, you know, I have to do it. And it's going to, reality is going to test me like, you sure about that? You sure about that?
Yep.
Like, and no, and
And what a great lesson to learn.
yeah. And I'm here we are, like, I'm making these fucking algorithms, like,
Yeah.
but everything that I've been through,
Yeah.
and it's all been tests to make me fucking stronger to where I can hold my covenant. Like, and
Yeah.
been given opportunities to, hey, you can get off this train, but you're going to be the trade off is you're going to go back to sleep. You're going to
Yeah.
you're going to forget a little bit. But I've
Yeah.
kept rising to the call, like, okay,
Yep, it's
here's
a
this.
continuous choice, like, you're never locked into anything,
Yeah.
ultimately, like, you can always change your mind and you can always change your course, because you're sovereign. You can do whatever the
Yeah.
fuck you want,
Exactly.
um, but, like, you choose it, uh, through your because all we have is the present, like, that's really if you think about time, it's really just frames that we're in any present given moment kind of thing, kind of like how a movie reel
Mhm.
works. So you have all these little micro choices happening at every single moment. And it's in those little micro moments, these tiny little things that you do is what will be your trajectory and you can change it at any time, but it's what you think of most often and then and that's gonna be coming from your core beliefs that could be distorted beliefs from trauma. But whatever you're thinking about a lot and, whatever you're putting your intention on and your focus on is what's gonna keep appearing in your reality for
Mhm.
opportunities to keep refining and refining and refining and expanding. So you get to choose whatever you wanna do, like, "What do I wanna expand on? What do I" And so right now, I kinda have decision paralysis of, like, I wanna do everything,
Yeah.
like, but I gotta focus on one thing. And it's like, that's the hardest part is, like, just choosing something. If you take me to the fucking store, I'm like, I have to see every single item so I can choose, and then I spend, like, 3 hours, and then it's like I've looked like I'm shoplifting because I can't make a
Yeah.
choice. But what I've been working on is intuitive decisions. Like, well, I like that color shirt, and then I'm like, "But that one's more comfortable." And then
Yeah.
I'm like no, I like the green. I'm going with the green,
Mhm.
and I'm working on that refinement right now so I can build my foundation better to contain whatever I'm about to build up.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of it's ever working under construction thing, but that's the beauty of it. And I also want to say like, and by saying dangerous or like beware, like be careful, it's never like to instill fear in any
No.
way. And I'm just gonna catch it, Ryan, just in case this happens. Is like it's more so like, hey, here's a this is something that's coming into your field for a reason. Like us saying what we're saying, like these specific words that we're saying. Like there's going to be aspects of it. I mean, honestly, you could probably take every single aspect of it and apply it into your reality and pick it apart or run with it or whatever it is. But it's all being presented to you as an option.
Mhm.
And and that's what, like, people say, "Take what resonates and leave the rest," which is, like, super annoying because it's oversaid, but it's like an overplayed song. But that's kind of the point, and, it's not that you should be scared of anything, it's just more of like, "Hey, do you really wanna loop there for that long? Like,
Yeah.
we don't want you to, like, have to suffer through this, that's why we're here, to give, like, a little bit of clarity and guidance so you can make more informed decisions for yourself and kinda get there a little easier route, not so bumpy."
Yeah, because there is turbulence, but there's there's there always was, there always will be,
Yeah.
and you have to understand that there are ways to ride the waves without just losing your ever like, "Wow," and
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically whenever you get stuck somewhere too long
yeah,
and you're having a hard time getting out, and that's why we're doing this.
for
Because,
sure.
people need to experience adversity and that dark night of the soul and all that stuff. You need to go through those things individually, but when you start losing your way, you look for the light, and we're hoping to be that, like, kinda like little flashlight,
Mhm.
like, "Hey, I'm over here. Come here, come here."
Exactly, and
Um,
we'll get
yeah.
into,
But you could be like, "Fuck you, no, I'm gonna stay in my corner
yeah,
and just, like, look at the cave wall," and that's fine too.
exactly, like, those are pretty pictures, little
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Because I'm not there, I don't know what it looks like over there for you, so I cannot say if you should leave or not. Like, that is totally your call, and already. You're li If you're stuck and you're in a dilemma, it's likely because you're scared to make the choice you know you have to make.
for sure. And you know we're gonna jump around here because that's the natural course of all of this anyway. Our episodes might not seem linear, but none of this shit is linear. Like
I
our
kinda love it. I'm like, "Dude, we wove everything in that we
Yeah,
said we were gonna talk about. Sweet."
and so like next episode we'll probably get, because there was a lot of questioning, interaction asking about kundalini and all of
Yeah,
this. We're going to
yeah.
unpack that more. We will. But there's also a purpose in how we're approaching things. Sometimes you have to sit with stuff for yourself for a little while and just see where it takes you without us giving, like, because that's part of this too. It's for each
Mhm.
individual to take something and spend time with. And time, that time is so important in healing and awakening and, you know, all of this. We, I
Yeah.
just want to put that out there so we understand, or y'all understand that Melissa and I understand, and we will, we
Yeah, I
weave, we
kinda
circle.
I trust too if you have certain questions, they're being asked because, that's probably something we need to cover. And
Yeah.
at some point, it's gonna get, like, too much, like, we're gonna have too many questions to, like, cover, like, one by one kinda thing, but it'll be more like, "Alright, what are the masses saying?" Or, like, stuff like that, so that's probably how we'll do it. I also opened up a community on the YouTube side of things, there's a
Nice.
little button, it's like open up your community. I'm like, okay. So there's a place to like kind of comment on our channel itself. So
Okay.
feel free to jump in on that. We'll probably do an initial post just to like say hey. And yeah, feel free to say whatever it is, comment on whatever it is you feel like commenting on, if you need clarity or if you even kind of have your own angle of which you found things because you don't know who it could benefit and it's important to share because you could have someone's key or like a piece to their puzzle. And if you're a
Absolutely.
veteran, say hey that you're here because that's ultimately like at least that's my part of my mission why I'm here is to rally up the veterans who are waking up to kind of give them a space to make sure they don't go off the rails because we need them. We need them for
Well, yeah, there's
this new world we're going to be building, and not just
so much
us,
of
like
this is
every
connected to
freaking
trauma,
everyone. Yeah,
and who knows trauma better than veterans, like, as an adult? So,
yeah, dude.
that's kind of the
So
point.
yeah, and we just reached a beautiful close.
Yeah.
So we'll close this out. We appreciate you joining us, and we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, but Instagram's kind of lame. We don't really get traction there. Blah. And then
Um,
YouTube's
I'm not
cool.
you know
The comments are just so like different in each platform. It's interesting. YouTube is more like family vibes somehow, and then at least so far, and then TikTok is we're catching the people in distress, it seems, or
Yeah,
the people that are like really seeking in seeking mode. So it's kind of cool to see different
for
times. We're
sure.
also on Substack, and we'll be on other platforms. Let us know like which ones are best for freedom of speech.
Yeah, we'll flesh it out. I mean, it's still a
Yeah.
work in progress, and we're taking a big bite of this apple, so, yeah. Thank y'all.